Welcome to Wawa.
I am a warrior from a forgotten age. I am a samurai from a displaced realm. I am a Ronin.
I am post-historicism. I move beyond time. 1953, 1969, 2007, 2025. You don't know me, but I'm ready.
I think about you in the morning, hard and ruthless. My bath towel from the night before knows.
I am full of espresso. I don't work here, but I will be known odorous and violating. I am a cafe racer.
Everything's tilted right now because the camera is attached to the top of the bike. Don't worry. Straighten it out like this.
Whoa, different helmet. Also, I'm mic'd up now inside the helmet. Oh, it's a lovely evening today. But before we head off, click on the link in the description. Leads you to fanathem.com/regularcars. Or you can type it in yourself if you want to. Buy some limited edition merch or a digital download.
Bernash asked, do you want to do giveaways again? I said, yeah, but only if I can do stuff that I really enjoy. And he said, well, how about motorcycles? I said, how about yes? And he said, well, what sort of bike have you always wanted? I always wanted a cafe racer. From when I started riding bikes back in 2007, that was during the silver age of cafe racers here in the United States. And I wanted one. I watched all the videos of people building them and stuff like that. It's like, oh, if only I could have one. But I had my little 250 Honda. My little Honda Honda CM250C. That's what I had. So Bernash comes back, Justin comes back with this, a CB750 Cafe Racer. And like, the real thing is like the real thing.
Come on, girl. Yeah, look at that. Half the time I just like leaving immediately, like not really bothering letting it warm up. I should really let her warm up though. You know, half the time you just leave and the first half mile of the run is all jerky and weird. Screw it. The first half of my ride is going to be jerky and weird. Is the mic too close to my mouth? Was that just all wind? I think that audio was just all wind. Man, I have to find a way so you can hear how good this engine sounds. I'm good.
I've been riding this every single day. This is wonderful, and you're gonna like this too. Go to fanathem.com/regularcars. fanathem.com/regularcars. Buy some limited edition collectibles, and if you don't like that, then you can get a digital download, and someone's gonna ride home with their very own cafe bike. I gotta put my helmet on. Normally, I wear contact lenses when I ride bikes, but right now I'm threading in my tiny glasses inside. For those of people just getting into bikes now, the cafe scene in the 2000s in the United States exploded because what was going on was it was the end of the choppers. That was sort of the peak of the big American choppers. They went away, and what replaced them in the it crowd, I suppose we could say hipsters by now, was the cafe bike. Because it was so different, because cafe bikes in the United States are a tribute to British riding via Japan. So American cafe racers are different than what exists across the pond. Anyway.
Picture this. It's 1949. You've just won the war for Great Britain, and now you're going home. For the past number of years, you've lived in a state of elevated adrenaline levels, cortisol levels. Now, something odd is happening here. Something odd is happening with you. You're experiencing stress, but that stress is bringing with it happiness. Weird, huh? When death or danger is on the line, you experience a shot of dopamine and serotonin. But the war is over. Time to go home. Gone are the overhead thwumps of Merlin engines, the finality of an Enfield bolt slamming closed, the euphoric rush of cheating death, and the iron bonds of your friends. Now you're all alone in peaceful Kenilworth, safe in the Midlands, disgustingly safe, horrifically safe, horribly safe, hurtful safe. You can't stand it. You want to feel terror again. You have an appetite for crisis now, and who could blame you? After parachuting out of an airplane, or taking an enemy position, or liberating France, driving a lorry or pushing paper, that just feels like torture. But you have your wartime pay, and surviving friends are still out there. And you could buy a BSA A7, a super rocket, that goes 116 miles an hour, or an A65L Spitfire, that goes 123 miles an hour. Maybe you saw a Norton Manx 500 passing by at 90 miles an hour. And in that cosmically small moment, you saw hope. And you weren't alone. From John O'Groats to Land's End, adrenaline junkie ex-soldiers and other thrill-seeking young men bought motorcycles and stripped them down for speed and handling. Because you have to understand, the British cafe culture, the British cafe racing culture is very different from the United States. And the reason it's different is because the environment in which these machines evolved was also different. In the United States, we had the burgeoning Eisenhower interstate system, or as we now know, the interstate. And in that environment, the world of the Hells Angels, the chopper, that was king. Big, powerful displacement engines meant to go mile after mile after mile, straight burning speed. But that wasn't the environment in Great Britain, no. Post-World War II, the roads of Great Britain were not much more than plowed goat paths. At least from my American standpoint, wow, they were tiny. But that's the environment in which the motorcycle evolved there. And when it had to adapt to those type of tight, twisting roads, well, the motorcycle culture looked quite different over there. And that gave birth to the most wonderful type of motorcycle ever invented, the Cafe Racer, the predecessor to modern sport bikes. Cafe racing culture changed in 1969 when Honda unveiled the CB750. The original CB750 was like the LS engine. It was familiar technology served in an advanced and overbuilt package.
Priced for everybody. Who the heck's texting me? This better be important. Brandon. No firm offer. Like the LS engine, yes. Priced for everybody. Triumphs, Nortons, BSA, JAPs, they were the OG bikes. But Honda's CB4 engine, well, it revved higher, ran smoother, left room for tuning, and it just looked gorgeous. 4 chrome headers just jutting hornily out in front of the fairing. And 4 carburetors sucking hungrily, making whooshing sounds under revving. And when the CB4 climbs up close to 9,000 RPM, it sounds like a repressed Catholic getting finger popped for the first time, up to a top speed of 125 miles an hour in 1969.
Notice I didn't define gender. Everybody loves 2 knuckles.
What you're looking at here is a later example of the Honda CB750. The first-gen bikes were single overhead cams. In 1979, the cylinder head got double cams. The 1990s saw a decline of the old-school air-cooled carbureted bikes as the sport bike and superbike wars began, which ended in the Honda CBR 1100 XX Super Blackbird and the Suzuki Hayabusa rivalry. Those 2 liquid-cooled, high-compression, fuel-injected, well, no. The Hayabusa had port fuel injection, but the Super Blackbird used 4 42mm Keenan carbs, kind of like what this uses. Anyway, Honda put their long-lived CB engine to rest in North America in the year 2003. And 5 years later, the silver age of cafe racers began on our side of the pond. Independent builders crafted new interpretations of the classic British style of bike, but with modern equipment. What you're seeing here, with the windshield, the cowling, the LED headlight, rear set seat with a butt stopper, there you go, dropped handlebars, not clip-ons, rear seat delete, the front fender has been removed, and thanks to our friend Kay, you'll see more of him, cleaned carburetors. When you lighten a standard bike like a CB750 by removing unnecessary accessories, you change the handling dynamics. The adjustable rear shocks here are set at their softest setting. And still, the movement of the rear swing arm, the box swing arm down here, is very firm. Those springs are no longer supporting a seat. They're no longer supporting a passenger or rear luggage. But the front suspension up there remains unchanged. The windshield has a cut in it here to accommodate your helmet. It creates a bit of aerodynamics. Now, the rear vertical lip of the cafe seat takes the stress off of your knees when you're under hard acceleration. With the stock seat, the bike pulls forward, making yourself slide backwards. So the rider tends to grip the seat with their knees. But because you can't death grip the handlebars, because you'll grab a handful of throttle, and that just makes the problem of sliding off the bike worse. But with this little butt pad right here, you stay on the bike when you're screwing it on a straightaway.
I feel drippingly cool riding this CB750 because other riders know I am suffering a little to become a rolling art piece. The CB750, or in this case the CB750 Nighthawk, was so refined that all personality was engineered out of it. The only thing Honda could have done to nail the coffin closed would be to give it a shaft drive instead of a chain. Like Clarkson said, it would be better if it was worse. And that's how you make a Honda CB750 Nighthawk fun. You have to make the bike less refined. Interject chaos. But keep the engine the same. Oh yeah, keep that air-cooled 4 stock. You do want the reliability, but everything around it, express yourself. And you'll be able to express yourself too. Click on the link in the description or go to fanathem.com/regularcars. Buy a limited edition piece of merch or a digital download, and this could be your cafe summer. I hope it is. Thanks so much for supporting Regular Car Reviews, and thanks for sticking with us all of these years. And don't worry, All the money that we make from these giveaways, you are going to see right here on your computer screen or your phone. We have wonderful plans for road trips. Gosh, I don't know what I want to do yet. We did Australia, thanks to you. And this time around, I want to do a domestic road trip and I want to buy a few cars. Or maybe one or two. Do it with friends. I want to go places that most people don't go. I live in Pennsylvania, but I've never been to Erie. We could go there. We could go to the Outer Banks. I've never been there. And I hope whoever wins this bike loves it as much as I do. Oh, and there will be more content surrounding this bike. I haven't finished riding it. I want to ride this thing through Center City, Philly. I have yet to ride it at night. We got to have more. And there'll be another video about this bike with Kay, who I kept talking about, showing you how to clean these carburetors. So that's going to be fun. Lots of fun goofball talking. Anyway, have a very good week. I'll see you soon.